Welcome back, class 8. This is your part 2 for chapter 3, pronouns. I hope that you have all watched part 1 of this chapter explanation, and then this is the part 2 of it. Now, in this last part 1, we have discussed about 4 different kinds of pronoun. Okay, that was a personal, possessive, okay, demonstrative and interrogative pronoun. So today we will see rest 6 types of pronoun. Okay. Page number 21, if you see, look at these sentences. Okay, I poured myself a cup of coffee. I myself am to blame for the confusion. Priya loves singing to herself. She herself does not seem too worried about her results. In the first sentence of each pair, the highlighted pronoun myself or herself, okay, receives the action of the subject, and that is I or Priya. Yes or no? In the first sentence, if you see, I poured myself a cup of coffee, or I myself am to blame for the confusion, isn't it? I is a subject here, and myself is used to for as a pronoun. Yes or no? In the second sentence, Priya loves singing to herself. Now, Priya is a girl, so definitely we are going to use her. So, Priya loves singing to herself. She herself does not seem too worried about her result. Okay, so in the first sentence of each pair, the highlighted pronoun myself and herself receives the action of the subject, that is I and Priya. Yes or no? In the second sentence of each pair, the highlighted pronoun is used for emphasizing. Okay, we are emphasizing that she herself does not seem too worried about her result, or I myself am to blame for the confusion. Yes or no? So here in the second sentence, if you see, uh, we are emphasizing that I myself have done this. Okay, I myself love to do this. Okay, so when you're emphasizing uh, the sentence, okay, so here a pronoun that indicates that the action of the subject reflects on or turns back on the subject itself is called a reflexive pronoun. So the word reflexive means reflection, or just what you give, you get it back. Okay, so that is what reflexive means. So a pronoun that indicates that the action of the subject reflects back, okay, or turns back on the subject itself, on the doer of the action itself, is called a reflexive pronoun. Okay. um, a pronoun that is used for the sake of emphasis. The first subject gets back what the subject is doing. Okay, and in the second sentence, if you see, we are emphasizing. So a pronoun that is used for the sake of emphasis or emphasizing, putting more pressure or focus, okay, on the subject, is called an emphasizing pronoun. Okay, emphasis or emphasizing pronoun, that is what emphasizing pronoun is. Okay, so we saw in one example we saw both reflexive and emphasizing. So reflexive means what you get back, okay, of the subject, that reflects back the action of the subject, that reflects back or turns back, is your reflexive. And a pronoun that is used for the sake of emphasizing any kind of action, that is what emphasizing pronoun is. Now look at these sentences. Each of the boxes was opened. I haven't read either of the books. Neither of them will admit to having broken the vase. In each of the sentences, the highlighted pronoun indicates people or things individually rather than as a group. So each of the boxes, okay, or either of the books, or neither of them will admit of having broken the vase. So in each sentences, the highlighted pronoun indicates people or things individually, okay, rather than as a group. So pronouns that shows that people or things are taken singly, okay, individually or in separate groups, is called a distributive pronoun. Okay, when there is a distribution of action or taken singly, so a pronoun that is taken singly is your distributive pronoun. Okay, distributive pronouns are always followed by the verb. What is verb? An action. Okay, distributive pronoun is always followed by an action in the singular. Okay, not in the plural but in the singular. They are always singular and are therefore followed by the verb in the singular. Okay, and distributive pronoun are singular and they are always followed by a singular verb. Okay, by the verb in the singular. So we saw distributive pronoun as well. We saw reflexive, we saw emphasizing, and we saw distributive. Okay, read these sentences. One must preserve one's traditions. Many had proposed the idea, but few voted in its favor later. In the above sentences, the highlighted pronouns refer to nouns that are understood or implied rather than stated in particular. So there are some of the sentences, if you see, even without stating it, okay, we have to understand what is implied. Okay, what is implied in the sentence. The highlighted pronoun one, many, few refer to the nouns. They are referring to the noun that are understood, okay, or what is to be implied rather than stated in particular. Okay, so we don't usually need to be, it does not need to be stated. Okay, it has to be understood. Okay, so remember, when using the pronoun one, you must be consistent. If you are using the pronoun one, you have to be consistent in the sentence as well. For example, we cannot say one tries to help his parents. Okay, if you see the stick note, it's written that one tries to help his parents. It's completely wrong. What you need to write? One tries to help one's parents. Okay, so when you write one, you have to be consistent. Okay, you cannot change the pronoun. Now, pronouns that do not refer to any person in particular is called indefinite pronoun. So, a pronoun that does not that do not refer to any person in particular, that is what indefinite pronoun is. Some other indefinite pronouns are, examples of indefinite pronouns are several, all. Now, these are some of the pronouns that we use for, like, which does not particularly belong to something. Okay, we are not particularly stating to something. Okay, so several, many, all, both, anyone, everyone, someone, everybody, and nobody. These are some of the kinds of words or indefinite pronoun words that we use when we are not stating in particular. Okay, that is what indefinite pronoun is. Okay, that was our fourth one. Now, look at these sentences in page 23. The two sisters always tried to help one another. They waved goodbye to each other as they parted. One another, each other. The highlighted pronouns one another and or each other indicate that two or more people carry out an action. So, an action that is carrying out by two or more people. Okay, same action has been done. Okay, or they are getting a same response. Okay, in a sentence. The highlighted pronoun indicates that two or more people carry out an action and receives its effect at the same time. Okay, and that kind of pronoun that denote mutual action are called reciprocal pronoun. Now, I'm sure you have come across the word reciprocal, either be in mathematics or just you've simply come across this word. Reciprocal means what you give, you get it back. Yes or no? So, reciprocal pronoun. So, when two or more people, it's not about two, but it's about two or more people, when they carry out some kind of action, okay, and receive it back, its effect at the same time, is a at the same time, but okay, so it is what called reciprocal pronoun. Okay, that is our fifth one. Then you see page 23, you have one more exercise there. Okay, then we have page 24. Rewind again. Look at these sentences. The book which you had suggested was very interesting. He is a boy who always completes his work on time. This is the house that was sold by my uncle. In each of the sentences, the highlighted pronoun relates a noun, book, boy, house, to the underlined word that follows. Okay, a pronoun that relates a noun that comes before it to a group of words that follow is called a relative pronoun. Okay, a relative pronoun should always be placed close to its antecedent. Okay, we say the boy who is in the train is my brother, but we do not say the boy is my brother who is in the train. Okay, so the boy who, okay, and these are the types of relative pronoun, that means which is related to the boy. Okay, a pronoun that is related to the subject. Okay, so no matter what relative pronoun you are using, according to the subject. Yes or no? So for thing we use which. Okay, we have already seen that. For person we use who, yes or no? For person, animal, we use who. Group of people, whom, yes or no? And thing is for that. So that is what it is saying, that relative pronoun is something like when the subject depend upon the subject. Now here in the first sentence, the book is the subject here. The book which you had suggested was very interesting. So here we are talking about or focusing on the subject, that is book, okay, which is a thing. So we use for a thing, relative pronoun is which, okay, and that comes straight away after the subject, followed by a group of words, okay, or which is placed close to its antecedent, okay. So which, who, that, okay. The highlighted pronoun relates, which relates to a noun, book, boy, or a house, okay. So to the underlined words that follow. So a pronoun that relates a noun that comes before to it to a group of words that follow is called a relative pronoun, okay. The most frequently used relative pronouns are who, whose, whom, which, and that. Let us learn more about the uses of each. The relative pronouns who and whom are used only for people, okay, irrespective of gender and number. Does not depend whether it's female or a male, okay, or singular or plural. We use relative pronoun who and whom for only for people. Look at these sentences. Students who forget to bring their hall tickets will not be allowed to sit for the test. The teacher whom you were supposed to meet has left already. Note that who is used when the relative pronoun function as the subject, whereas whom is used when the pronoun is the object. So when the relative pronoun function as a subject, we use who, and when the pronoun function as an object, we use whom. So that you need to keep in mind, okay, you have to understand. We use whose to refer to both people and non-living things. For example, the teacher scolded the students whose results were poor. Okay. The bicycle whose lamp was missing belongs to Ratul. Okay. We can use which for non-living things and animals. For example, the sparrows which lost their home in the storm are building a new nest. The relative pronoun that usually refers to non-living things. For example, we were the first to find the clues that would lead us to the hidden treasure. Okay, so that is how we are going to use relative pronoun, and that is also the last pronoun that we have seen just now. Okay, and then again you have page number 25, one practice exercise D, and then you have page 26, a challenge exercise E. So that I'll be giving you soon after the video. And then also another important thing is I'm planning, like today we have completed part 2 of it. Today's Tuesday, so on Wednesday, okay, so we'll keep one virtual class since our chapter 1, 2, 3 is completed. And as I have already mentioned that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is coming for your test. So 3 chapters we have already completed. Now in for your virtual class, that is Wednesday, which we will conduct from 10 to 10:30. Okay, so like don't be so sure, I'll let you know today itself. Okay, so most probably, yeah, 10 to 10:30 will have you. So I'll invite you, I'll share the link in the group, and then you can join me tomorrow for your virtual class. And then in that virtual class, what we'll do is we'll discuss about the chapter 1, 2, 3. It will be a revision virtual class. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3, we'll do that. We'll see the exercises, we'll see the chapter revision, we'll do the chapter revision, and we'll clarify all the doubts that if we have then. Okay, so chapter 1, 2, 3 revision we'll have in our virtual class, that is on Wednesday.